Hiya, Tim. Good morning. Welcome to a final poem for this week. It's Valentine by Caroline Duffy, one of the most well-known poems in the collection. It's been taught on GCSE courses for many years. So if you've got older brothers and sisters, they'll know this one, probably. And there'll be loads of resources on the internet as well if you want to get some extra help. So the plan this morning is to do a read through, and then I'll talk you through some of the questions and the thoughts that I have about this poem before giving you your task for the day. Okay, so I hope you're well, hope this is helpful, and I hope it's enjoyable too. Not a red rose or a satin heart, I give you an onion. It is a moon wrapped in brown paper. It promises light, like the careful undressing of love. Here, it will blind you with tears like a lover. It will make your reflection a wobbling photo of grief. I'm trying to be truthful. Not a cute card or a kissogram. I give you an onion. Its fierce kiss will stay on your lips, possessive and faithful as we are, for as long as we are. Take it. Its platinum hoop loops shrink to a wedding ring, if you like, lethal. Its scent will cling to your fingers, cling to your knife. So my thoughts about this poem are kind of these really. First of all, it's not a traditional love poem in any sense. It rejects some of the cliches that surround Valentine's Day. And as you know, Valentine's Day is the supposedly one day of the year where everybody kind of gets a little bit obsessed with love, and people send flowers and chocolates and so on. Couples go out for meals or go to the cinema on date night, and it's a kind of like a forced event. And what this poem is trying to do is take away the kind of the cliche side of Valentine's Day and try and do something much more personal and original that expresses the speaker's feelings for their lover. The onion is the central kind of image in this poem, and it's the gift that's been given as a Valentine's present. It's being used symbolically, and it represents the love that the speaker has. So it's called The Moon Wrapped in Brown Paper. It says later on it's got a fierce kiss. It's got platinum loops that shrink to a wedding ring. Okay, so it's got these symbolic interpretations that the speaker is giving this object, uh, which kind of justifies the idea of this being a gift on Valentine's Day. Throughout the poem, the reader, us, we are being directly addressed by the speaker. It's like we are the other person in the relationship, and the speaker is talking straight to us. So we're put in an intimate position in this poem. We're kind of part of what's going on, which is it makes this text feel a lot closer to us than maybe some of the other poems in the collection, which have been about relationships. This one, it feels like we're kind of in the relationship a little bit. The tone of this poem starts off quite playful. Um, it's a little bit light-hearted, and it's kind of a little bit flirty in that first couple of lines. But by the end of the poem, it's got a lot darker, and the last couple of lines, lethal, its scent will cling to your fingers, cling to your knife. Almost quite a sinister feeling comes through at the end. And it shows that the speaker in this poem has got quite a varied mood. Starts off playful, ends almost quite threatening. So it's got a very extreme swing in this poem from one tone and one mood to a very different tone and mood at the end. The poem's got no patterns in it. As you look at it, you'll see that there's some stanzas are just a line. Some stanzas are even just one word. The line length is varied. There's no rhyme pattern. It's very kind of free, and it's a unique poem. And I think that's what one of the interpretations of that form could be, is that by having no patterns, it makes this poem unique, which kind of ties in with what the speaker's trying to do with this Valentine's Day gift. The speaker wants to be very different from the ordinary, and this poem is definitely not an ordinary poem. It's not a sonnet, it's not in a strict form, it's very free, very unique. But the flip side of that is by having this very unique poem, it kind of draws attention to the unusual personality of the speaker. And as the poem develops, that unusual personality does have this sense of danger and threat behind it. So by having this kind of formless poem, what Caroline Duffy's created is a unique expression of love, but it also has this slightly sinister, darker side, because is this speaker, you know, perhaps they're a little bit extreme in the way they go about their business, and some of those phrases uh, suggested the dark side of the speaker, not just this kind of sweet, innocent guy or lady. This poem seems to have a darker side to it. So those are my thoughts, and on the next slide, I'll put the questions that I'd like to answer in today's lesson. So, questions for Valentine. Question 1. What does the word platinum in line 19 suggest about the onion? So you might need to get a dictionary, look at what the word platinum means. You might know what it means, in which case you would probably be able to work out what it suggests about this onion. Question 2. Do you think the poem describes a happy relationship? Explain your answer. So I kind of went through this a little bit in my thoughts about the poem. You've got to think, you've got to weigh it up a little bit. What's the evidence that this relationship sounds happy, and what's the evidence that suggests that this relationship sounds a little bit unhappy? And then obviously balance that out and explain your feelings in your answer. Question 3. How do you feel at the end of the poem? What do you think is going to happen next? So the final couple of lines, as I said in my thoughts about this poem, it ends on quite a serious tone, quite a scary, potentially violent idea at the end. So you need to think, well, what's going to happen next, do you think? And obviously there's no wrong answer here because the poem's ended and you can use your imagination. So be interested to see where you think this relationship's going to go. That final line, it said, will cling to your fingers, cling to your knife. Okay, so there's the questions. I look forward to seeing your answers. Enjoy the weekend, Year 10, and I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Missing you.